and welcome to the Tao of Our Understanding Recovery Podcast. In this podcast, we discuss mystical works of literature and how they relate to recovery. We hope you enjoy today's podcast episode.
Hello, this is Buddy C. Welcome to the Tao of Our Understanding Recovery Podcast. Today we have Amy and Marla and Dennis and Craig and Chris and Paul. Good to have all of y'all. Guys, don't forget about our nightly 9 p.m. Eastern AA meeting, Zoom, AAmeetings.com. We'll get you there every time. Be logged into your free Zoom account because it'll ask you for authentication if you're not. So, great meeting. We had somebody the other night that came that commented that they were there from the Tao podcast. So we've had several people come from the Tao podcast to the meeting. So we run, depends on the night. Actually, I'm chairing this Friday, and I hope if the group conscience approves, I start chairing on Friday night starting in August. So maybe I can run into some of you guys there. So the Sacrificial Swine. Marla, you want to read today?
The Sacrificial Swine. The grand augur, I hope I'm pronouncing it right, who sacrificed the swine and read omens in the sacrifice, came dressed in his long dark robes to the pig pen and spoke to the pig as follows. Here's my counsel to you. Do not complain about having to die. Set your objections aside, please. Realize that I shall now feed you on choice grain for 3 months. I myself will have to observe strict discipline for 10 days and fast for 3. Then I will lay out grass mats and offer your hams and shoulders upon delicately carved platters with great ceremony. What more do you want? Then, reflecting, he considered the question from the pig's point of view. Of course, I suppose you would prefer to be fed with ordinary coarse feed and be left alone in your pen. But again, seeing it once more from his own viewpoint, he replied, no, definitely there is a nobler kind of existence. To live in honors, to receive the best treatment, to ride in a carriage with fine clothes, even though at any moment one may be disgraced and executed, that is the noble, though uncertain destiny.
Hurry before they come get you.
Myself. What?
I said, hurry before they come and get you.
That is the noble, though uncertain destiny that I've chosen for myself. So he decided against the pig's point of view and adopted his own point of view, both for himself and for the pigs also. How fortunate those swine whose existence was thus ennobled by one who was at once an officer of state and a minister of religion. Don't understand the last line at all, but I do understand most of it.
What do you think? What's your thoughts on this, Marla?
This is a man who was so intent on gaining wealth and riches and being, hailed and held up in high regard, and didn't really give a shit if he lost it all the next day. He could have been killed and executed the next day. As long as he had that at one point in his life, he was good, and he was a noble man.
Who else? Anyone else with any thoughts on this?
I didn't understand much of that. Okay, but I've not had meat for 2 days because Marla's saying that I can't shift this little pouch in my belly. And Marla's saying it's because I eat too much. I don't exercise enough and I eat far too much meat. So I've not had meat for 2 days. And I could just murder a bacon butty right now, just thinking about these poor pigs.
There you go. And there, you just defined the whole verse.
Did I?
Yes. You don't care about the misery of the pig. It's to feed your body. You just want to feed your body for the glory of it. You don't care about killing the pig.
Anyone else?
Well, isn't it the purpose of this thing, isn't it, well, this is from the Tao, so you can't really say that the Buddhist religion is one of the 5 things that you should restrain is eating animal meat, animal flesh, right?
It said that thou shalt not kill. It's talking about that you don't kill any living thing. A lot of the Buddhists take that.
Yes, no living creature at all, right? And that was just all what I could see overall. Again, I didn't understand the last one either, that how fortunate those swine whose existence was thus enabled or ennobled.
But you're being sarcastic, Dennis.
Yes, that's what I'm thinking.
Okay.
But that's the only way I can make sense of it, that it's a sarcastic statement, the first one. And then again, it seems to me that it's more important for that guy to appear. He's all in his ego, in his little self, being that's way more important than the pig's well-being. So he's kind of sitting that higher than a spiritual way, if you will, where everything is connected, right?
I think it's talking for me. I see people pleasing in this trap of honor, this trap of being highly esteemed. It's what I see in this.
Yeah, he wants to be photographed eating the pig with all his champagne and his lushes and riches.
Well, this is the thing. Now in China, I had a note on this. In China, this is a quote that I found. Pigs were given a meaning both historically and culturally. They symbolize wealth, luck, and prosperity. Pigs are the stepping stone of the development of China. Pigs are still present in Chinese cuisines and many local customs and religious practices. Mm-hmm. Pigs are so much more than what they are, is what they were saying, that there was actually a sacrifice every year, a swine sacrifice. So this was a thing that happened in traditional Chinese or traditional China, many centuries ago. So this is a common practice. This sacrificial swine was very common there. It was an annual event.
I believe it.
From what religion does that come from when you do an offering like that? With
I don't even know.
Swine?
A lot of it's just tradition in itself. So I don't even know what it was. But the thing I was thinking about on this, if you look, it says that he went and saw the swine in his long, dark robe. So he was showing, I think, respect to the pigs, even in the beginning there, as if he was wanting the pigs' approval too. He wanted everyone's approval.
But I also think like he was also showing the pig that as a human, he's stronger and can make that decision of whether to kill him or not.
Yeah, and then also all the sacrifice that he was making. He says, realize you're going to get to eat choice grain for 3 months. And I will have to observe strict discipline for 10 days and fast for 3. So we're honoring you. We're giving you honor. In other words.
Then we're going to kill you.
Then we're going.
I think it's so amazing.
I guess I'm coming from this. Oh, sorry. Just real quick, but maybe not real quick. Why? The pigs probably had no idea. The pigs were just living their best life. Why in the hell did this guy think it necessary to come tell these pigs what was about to happen to them? Right? Haven't you ever heard happier than pig and shit, or wallowing like a pig and shit, whatever? Why does this guy, because he's the grand augur, think it's okay to come and ruin these pigs' days and tell them all these wonderful things are going to happen to you before I kill you? I mean, what a jerk.
It doesn't say the pigs
extreme arrogance. Yeah.
Yes.
It doesn't say they spoke back either.
But
he tries to put himself in their heads. Like, I don't have a right to go in your head and tell you what you're thinking and feeling. But this guy thinks he can go in these pigs' heads and be like, oh, well, this is what you're thinking and this is what you're feeling, when probably just leave the damn pigs alone. Let them eat whatever they want to eat. But it was his arrogance. Absolutely his arrogance that he felt necessary to do this. He was being a martyr. absolutely being a martyr.
Hold on a second. Let's get Chris in there.
Yeah, I've got two things. First of all, it's on line like 6, I think. Realize that I shall not feed you on choice grain for 3 months.
It should be now, Chris.
Are you sure?
Yeah. Well, that's what I assumed. Damn, could be.
That makes a lot of difference.
Yeah.
And
I think
why
it's now instead of not.
You think?
I see no reason for it to be different because he's choice grain for 3 months would be honoring the pig before the sacrifice.
I thought he wasn't.
Well, he's not honoring the pig though. He's this arrogance is, he's just saying, this reminds me of the Christian view of having a dominion over the planet. Man has complete sovereignty over all animals and everything. And that's
what I was saying.
He's saying. Yeah, exactly. And yeah, but so realize that I shall not feed you on choice grain for 3 months. I myself will have to observe strict discipline for 10 days and fast for 3. So he's got to fast. So the pig's got to fast. And so, that really got me off on, this Christian thing about domination, and then totally toward the end about how we're doing you a favor by, having all this rigmarole for you and by eating you. So, anyway, thanks for letting me get it off. Yeah, because that, so would the book be, what is what would be it says not.
Hold on a minute.
Okay. You're right. The book says now.
Okay.
It says, realize that I shall now feed you on choice grain. Okay. Interesting.
It changes it all.
Blows me away. Okay.
But he's saying that, I'm going to honor you, pig, and this is the ways I'm honoring you. I'm going to feed you choice grain for 3 months. Then I'm going to have to make a sacrifice for you. I'm going to have all this, strict discipline for 10 days and fast for 3. Then I'll lay out your hams on grass mats and your shoulders upon delicately carved platters with great ceremony.
I can't find my hand here, but I'm almost dying. It seems to me like it's guilt. It is guilt. He's trying to convince himself that he knows that he's trying to convince himself that he can convince the pig that, hey, here, buddy, I'm going to kill you. However, it is an honor to be killed. So he talks himself into it because of guilt. He really don't want to kill the pig, I think. But then he's coming up with all these things, and he's assuming that he can, like Amy is saying, communicate with the pig. That's how far he goes, just to get out of that guilt.
I think he even wants the pig's praise.
I think he was trying to make the pig feel sorry for him.
He wants the pig to say thank you. I think it's what he wants.
Yes.
But you notice it doesn't say the pig's reply. The pig's just living in the moment. The pig don't know the difference.
They don't know. They can't talk. They can't think. So
they don't know.
No. They don't know they have a future of death.
I think he's talking about himself too. Granted, there's a pig that's getting sacrificed, but he's talking about himself.
Yeah, I do too. It always turns out to be that way.
Because isn't he doing those things? Because at that time, his appointment, at any moment, he could be, if the powers that be did not agree with him or like him or think he was deceiving in some way, he could be sacrificed himself.
Mm-hmm.
Could it be one of those oxymorons that really with our ego, the way we're behaving, we're living like pigs ourselves? We just want all the glory and all that. And that's kind of where you say the pig just want to fool around in his own pigsty. So you can say the way we're living with our ego and the way we're measuring things up and all that, this is what's important to me. That is kind of living like a pig yourself. I don't know.
So we need to be more like the pig, not the sacrificial pig, but the but the everyday pig rather than the auger?
I would say we could learn a lot from the animals by living in the moment, no matter what. That's always the.
That's one thing.
They live purely by instinct.
On this last meditation retreat, that's the other epiphany that I had. I was sitting there meditating. I thought, I said, all of nature is in the moment, other than us. I said, they're all like, I was thinking about a tree. I said, a tree is in the moment. Animals are all in the, maybe some higher functioning primates, maybe at times, but let's say in general, most animals are in the moment all of the time. I said, and maybe meditation's a way to get us back to our natural state of being in the moment, like all the rest of nature. So this pigs are in the moment, and this guy is definitely not in the moment. I thought about a couple of quotes. He's talking about honor being the most important achievement, and that people pleasing. The Tao quote, care about people's approval and you will be their prisoner. You'll always be their prisoner. Yeah. That's a really pertinent one. I thought about a Neil Young quote too, that it's better to burn out than to fade away. This guy was, which I don't agree with, but this guy bought into that.
No, the tune is running through my head now.
He was really talking about himself. I was looking at what else I had here.
Neil Young, Craig.
Do you know who that is, Craig? Neil Young.
You forget I'm the youngest person in the room.
Yeah. Well, he's in his 70s now, but he's a rock and roller.
Old rock and roller. But it was the same quote from Highlander. They used it in Highlander. It's better to burn out than to fade away.
Yeah, that's a good one. That's a good one. But I think it's all about people pleasing and that achievement mentality that is a real trap. It's interesting too. Here he was an officer of state and a minister of religion. So he had.
And what did that have to do? What does that have to do? And most of these verses have a person of nobility in them, or a sage or somebody high up in the prime ministers and all that. There's never. Well, there's a few ordinary men in here, but mostly higher up people.
And the way it's written, those are the ones that we do not want to be like.
It seems that way, isn't it?
Any other comments on this?
Could the fact that he's an officer and a minister of religion, because it says, how fortunate those swine whose existence was thus ennobled by one who was at once an officer of the state and minister of religion. So could the moral of the story be that you can fall from grace just as quick? Or maybe just quicker?
And you notice too that from what it says, he got his positions immediately. It was not something he worked for. It's something it's something that it says was at once an officer of the state. I don't know if that's a typo of some type, but
I thought that meant that he just used to be. At one time, he used to be.
I don't know.
Is that what it meant?
I don't know.
Often wrong.
I had a staff sergeant when I was in sergeant school. It was kind of funny. That reminds me of this here where we are. He said that if you feed a man a compliment, you can feed him for life. Where if you just feed him food, you can only feed him for a little bit. And a little bit, because those compliments, you can kind of feed people's ego and then go way further ahead. And that's kind of what I'm thinking of with this guy here. He's seeking that validation through titles, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
It's and I actually have one of those moments here yesterday. Buddy knows this. I'm a total coffee whore. I love coffee. It has to be. And Buddy came with this special coffee brew, And every time I come to Miami and now we're into the Keys, I'm going to the Cuban coffee houses because they are the best at it. And then it dawned on me, you can go to a Starbucks and go in there and ask for a colada, somebody who's educated barista, and they don't know what you're talking about. But still, we're giving them this hat and they think they know all this. But then you come down here and there's this lady that's just doing the coffee. That's all of the title she has, is she's making a terrific coffee without even thinking about it. That dawned on me with that, how we get into our titles with our ego, right? I am, and then whatever comes after.
Yeah, he was, if you look at that first paragraph, he was doing that. He says, I shall, I myself, then I will. You know, it's all.
I like that he tried, though, to see it from the pig's point of view. I guess.
No, Dennis, I don't think so. I think what
you don't think he did. You don't think he did try there when he said, "Okay, maybe you did just want the ordinary feed here, and then survive this." You don't. No. You don't think. You think that was just
about pigs.
No, he took no consideration of the pig's thoughts. Those at all. I mean, okay. I don't think those were the correct pig thoughts.
I was trying to.
Here is my counsel to you.
That there might be some bright point. He just talked himself out of it.
Yeah,
but maybe not.
Yeah. You have something, Chris?
Well, it says, "Here is my counsel to you." Yeah. You know, that's how he started off. You know, he's not trying to learn something. He's trying to pass on his knowledge or his view.
I think he wants their approval. I think he wants them to buy into this. Just like he's bought into it. See, he's the pig that's getting sacrificed.
He's going to be executed, most likely.
Eventually.
Yes.
He's saying that
assassinated,
the all of the pomp and all of the approval and all the honor is worth a shortened life.
Yep.
Oh, so you are actually saying that he is comparing his own life to the pig's life and all that, totally all the way through. That's what he's doing.
He's choosing the pig, the sacrificial swine as himself.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. Oh, that makes sense. Yes, that's kind of, yeah.
So back to what Buddy said earlier, is that the verse is really about himself. It's not really
it's about him.
Yeah, it's about him.
Martyrdom. He's absolutely playing the martyr.
Or he who dies with the most toys dies.
Dies. I used that the other day.
Oh.
But I think too, this is related to recovery. I think this is such a good example of how I could justify and rationalize any of my behavior by pretending I knew what you were thinking about it and how it was going to play out, and how many conversations and scenarios did I play out in my head long before they ever happened. And still, even I can future trip and, you know, think that I know what you're feeling and think that you're going to say this, but it never goes that way. And I really do think that he was somehow living vicariously through these pigs, which is not really our place to do either, right? We're just supposed to be in the moment and accept whatever is as is.
I'd like to live vicariously through my dog because he has such a good life.
Well, he's so much in the moment, you know?
Totally. But, you know, he's very comfortable. He's just comfortable.
Treated well, right?
Provided fed well.
You're fed well, aren't you? You don't starve very often, do you, Marla?
No. I mean, all my needs are met too, but he's just so comfortable.
But the difference is he's in the moment and you're not, see?
Just like the pigs were in the moment, and this guy was trying to get them to not be in the moment because he was future tripping about what might happen to him.
Exactly.
Yes, that's it. Yeah.
I've never heard that before, future tripping, but
that's actually a good word for future tripping. Yes.
I'm going to have to add that to my vocab.
That's a good one, Amy. I hadn't thought of that. That's perfect.
Tripping.
That's what comes out in these things, you know, things that we've never even thought of. Yeah, exactly. He's all concerned with honor, which is all in the future. He's not getting honored at the moment. It's about when he's going to be honored. We're going to do all these things, not. And the swine that are not getting sacrificed, they're just living in the moment. That's good. Thank you. Guys, that was a good conversation. That was, got a little bit out of that I wasn't expecting about living in the moment. Okay, guys, any other comments? If not, we'll see you guys next week.
Hello, this is Buddy C. I wanted to make you aware of several recovery-related resources that I've posted in the episode description. These resources include a list of recovery podcasts, a free sober meditation app, daily recovery email, shared Google Recovery calendars. Hope you put some of these resources to use and have a great week.
Thank you for listening to the Tao of Our Understanding Recovery Podcast. If you enjoyed this episode, please share it with your friends in recovery.